Hi, and welcome back to Inspired Alchemy with Lizzie. This is episode 26, and honestly, I don't know what the topic of this is going to be. I'm just going to kind of let the ADHD train take my brain. I saw a post this morning, and it was about this woman who she's writing a book about her kind of blossoming and growth. And even though it was a very short caption, it was really cool to see her journey going from someone who was happy but not fulfilled in her life to a person who is wildly embodied. And you can just, even in the pictures, you can feel the energy change. And I thought that it was really amazing. And it kind of started making me think about my story and how many times I've tried to take myself out in terms of growth. I am a very growth oriented person, as you all know by now. But at the same time, there were things that were keeping me back from growing into who I was actually meant to be. In episode 25, I kind of talk about my growth a bit and how I am moving into this territory of reclaiming these pieces that make me feel like a jerk because they were always the pieces that made me feel like too much, but not enough at the same time. There's a whole thing about that. But this journey that I'm on, I had to be brave and say yes. In the past year, a little over a year, my life has changed completely. I am no longer who I was a year ago. I am no longer who I was 6 months ago, or 6 weeks ago, or even 6 days ago. And while sometimes it does feel like chaos and it feels crazy, and sometimes I feel crazy for even thinking about doing the things that I want to do. It's like the audacity of it all. I, even though it does feel like that, and even though growth can hurt, it's still so beautiful. I can look back and I can go, holy crap, who I was a little over a year ago is not even close to who I am now. A year ago, even though I was told I had a powerful energy when I walked in the room or what have you, um, it's not like now. It's not like now and how people respond to me. And even though sometimes it is bothersome because those wounds of still wanting to make people feel accepted and comfortable and all of those things, it's just not going to happen for a lot of people because I will no longer dim my light. I will no longer stay quiet. My voice is something I was always afraid to use. And I'm using it more and more all of the time. And the way that I can do that is because I have safe space to really unravel everything that I am so that I can rebuild. I have safe spaces to unravel and just be who I am without the fear of judgment, without the fear of being too much or not being enough. And I'm going to try really hard not to get emotional about this. I already feel it coming. But I can use my voice. And I'm not telling you that I'm purposefully trying to make people uncomfortable. That's not what I'm doing. It's just me being who I am makes people uncomfortable. And people can love me, they just don't want to be around me. But that's been my whole life. And it's becoming more and more apparent now that people are just like, I don't know about this. And when you start to really embody who you are, everything changes. When you start to stand in your authenticity and your integrity, everything changes. When you start to tell hard truths, not just to the people around you, but to yourself, everything changes. I had some really great conversations yesterday, which really changed my perspective. And I'm not going to go too much into it because the sessions that I do with my practitioner are, they're me resetting my nervous system so that I can be the best person I can be for myself, for my daughter, and for the people around me, my friends, my family. So I do keep those things kind of private, but I will tell you that perspective changed yesterday. I went into my session with my nervous system being a wreck. I don't normally go at the beginning of the week, so normally I have time to kind of bring myself to an even kind of place. But yesterday it was challenging. And while I wasn't expecting to cry, I was expecting to cry. Normally, if, okay, ADHD train taking my brain. I love mascara. So that's like the only makeup that I wear is mascara for the most part. I didn't put it on yesterday because intuitively, I guess I knew that I was going to cry. I made it through my entire session and I was like, man, I didn't cry. Then there was what I call an algorithm interrupt. And then my energy started to build again. And all of a sudden, I'm just laying there and I'm bawling my eyes out. I had been holding on, I guess, and resisting to what was supposed to happen. I was supposed to cry. I was supposed to release. I was supposed to gain these new perspectives. And I wasn't allowing myself to. So the universe just threw this little wrench in. It's like, oh, your session's almost over. It's time. It's time. You're gonna release this. You need to release this in order to move forward. So I did. And it's hard because I don't really cry in front of people. I used to a lot. And it got me a lot of, I don't want to say bullying, but a lot of that, you need to toughen up. You need to have a thick skin. You need to this, you need to that. And so I did. And guess what? That stifled who I was. So I actually think this episode is just turning into connecting the dots. So having these safe spaces and saying yes to yourself is extremely important. My nervous system, I didn't know what it felt like because I've lived my entire life in fight or flight. I didn't know what it felt like to actually have calm, to actually be able to regulate myself, not bypass, not shove it down, but actually regulate through breath, through energy. It is life-changing. It is changing me in ways that I didn't know possible. It is also, like I've said before, helping me uncover all of these pieces of myself. And within all of this, there are times where when I'm about to really reach a new level, those self-sabotaging behaviors can come in. Those bad thoughts, those negative thoughts about myself come in. And then I just need a swift kick to my ass and somebody to tell me the truth, for me to take that truth in and say, yeah, you're right. And then just lay it down. Lay it all down. What people think about me is not my problem. What people think about you is not your problem. What people think about your life is not your problem. How people react and respond to you is not your problem. People can only make us feel a certain way that we allow them to make us feel. So when somebody tells me, oh, I'm sorry I made you feel this way, you didn't make me feel any way. It was my choice to take it that way. And so I like to keep that frame of mind. I'm not taking responsibility off the person for maybe some shitty thing that they did, but I'm removing any kind of expectation of how it was supposed to look. And I am adding the responsibility to myself to make sure that if I had some kind of emotion around that, why did I have that emotion? Why did I feel the way that I felt? Was it a mirror being held up to me to go, look at this? You need to look at this. And again, I know that at the beginning of this episode, I was like, I don't know what this is going to be about. So I say that because I do think that it will all come together. So that woman I saw today reminded, that carousel of pictures and that little story reminded me of the path that I'm on. If I would not have said yes to body work, something I had been wanting my entire life, but never did it, I finally said yes to myself because I found a space where it was safe. And then I started these sessions. And because of that, I've grown faster than I ever thought possible. I've had some fast growth before, but this growth and the way that my life is changing has been the fastest. Like the way that I've changed in the past year, the ability again to use my voice, to speak out, to say things just and not like bury it, to wear things that I never would have worn before, to carry myself in ways I never would have carried myself before, and to be brave to just be me. And the funny thing is I thought that I was doing that before. And maybe I was. Maybe I was because I didn't find the pieces that I have now. But when you find those pieces, no matter how hard things might get, it's harder to go backwards because you'd be lying to yourself. You would be betraying yourself. And that feels worse than any betrayal from that you could get from anybody. And I say that because I've been through other betrayals. Friends, family, romantic partners. It's happened. So, but betraying myself is the worst feeling. And I can't. Even if I think that I can stay quiet about a specific situation, it always comes up and my body is telling me, no, you need to say something. You cannot just cover this up. You can't sweep it under the rug. And I'm not saying that I am aggressive or combative or anything like that. It's nothing like that. I don't fight. I never have. I don't see the point in actually screaming or anything like that. But I bring things to the surface in a respectful way. I might get passionate, but I've learned to regulate all of that and my emotion in a safe way. And again, this is not bypassing, and this is not stifling or shoving down. This is true processing. This is true regulation. And it is a beautiful journey. It's wild. And I believe that I'm saying all of this because I feel like so many of us are just walking around wishing that we could speak what we really want to say, wear the things that we really want to wear, be who we really want to be. But we're all too afraid of what society thinks, of what people are going to say, of what our loved ones are going to say or think of us. But you're not living your life for those people. You're living your life for you. And if you want to wear, I don't know, a pleather pair of pants with heels and some kind of audacious top, do it. I don't even know why that came up. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing. If you want to sing karaoke, do it. If you want to dance like nobody's watching but everybody is, do it. If you want to travel, do it. It doesn't matter what other people think. And I know that's something really hard to wrap your head around. But if I cared what people thought, like I did back then, if I thought that now, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be thinking about going back to school. I wouldn't think about the crazy plans that I have for my future and for Inspired Alchemy. I would just dim, or I would say, you know what, this is too much. You talk about too many crazy things. You talk about shadow work and you talk about alchemy, and it's just too much. You need to dial it down. You need to be love and light all the time, and you need to do this, this, and this. But again, that's a betrayal to myself. And I won't do it. Not anymore. And I'm going to say this. You shouldn't be betraying yourself either. There will get a point in time where your soul will start screaming at you. And it will get louder and louder and louder until you can't stifle it anymore. Don't wait until that time. And I'm speaking from experience. Don't wait until your soul is screaming at you to listen. Pick up on the subtleties beforehand. Step into who you are. Find your pieces. Say yes to things and see where it takes you. And again, I'm not saying for you to quit your job tomorrow or whatever it is. I understand there's still responsibilities. We have life that's happening for us. But what I am saying is take those steps forward. I know that they're scary, but nothing good comes from being in your comfort zone. It really doesn't. Thank you for riding this ADHD train with me. I think that I got out everything that I felt I needed to. And as always, you're not broken. We're just human beings doing the best that we can in this life. And as it was told to me yesterday, you're doing a good job. We might have been here 100 times before, or 1,000 times before. Things were a little bit different each time. But you've never done what you're doing in this consciousness. Give yourself some grace. Everything's going to be okay. And you're going to be okay. Just keep creating alchemy. Keep creating alchemy. It's Inspired Perpetual Alchemy every day for me. And if you need help, reach out. And again, I'm not saying just to me, but anybody you feel safe with and you trust. Start saying yes to the things that you want to say yes to, and start saying no to the things you don't want. And I promise, even though it feels scary, this journey is worth it. To feel fully embodied in who you are is worth it. And I'm not even 100% there yet. And I don't know if we ever are. We just keep learning and growing and being human. Beautifully flawed human beings. None of us are perfect. Like I said, we're all just doing the best we can with what we know. And when we know better, we do better. Sending love to all of you who need it. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for your time. I don't take that lightly because time is a very precious commodity. So thank you. Thank you for listening and being on this journey with me. And if you do need anything, you can reach out to me personally at Inspired Alchemy LLC on Instagram. You can leave a comment on any of the streaming platforms. I'm still trying to figure out how to use them, but YouTube I definitely will see. You can reach out on Facebook. And if you want support and community, which we all need, we have the Inspired Alchemy Collective. It's a private Facebook group where we talk about all of these things. And that is being rebuilt, and we're just getting started. So, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And until next time, keep creating alchemy.